Welcome back. Today we are going to look at classes and objects in Java. You have heard of Java being an object-oriented programming language. Java follows principles of object-oriented programming to design and organize programs. In OOP or in object-oriented programming, everything revolves around objects and classes, which helps in code reusability, code maintainability, among others. So Java uh, resolves or it rotates around objects and classes. That's why it is termed as object-oriented programming, an object-oriented programming language. Yeah, so today we are going to look at what are objects and what are classes. And we are going to look at real-time examples plus the practical side of it. Yeah, so stick to the video. So let us begin by what is a class and what is an object. A class is a blueprint or a template that defines the structure and behavior in brackets, data and actions of objects. Yeah, simply a class is a blueprint or template for creating an object. We are going to see that a practical in a practical way in the coming minutes. So what is an object? An object is a specific instance of a class. It is something real that is created based on a blueprint. Meaning, in this case, what does these two statements mean? A class is simply a template or a blueprint for creating an object. Now, an object is just an instance of a class. So what are objects? Objects uh, are, are real-time things. We are all familiar with objects. An object can be a frog, an object can be a shirt, an object can be anything in this world is an object. So an object can be a car, an object can be a person. But in Java, to create an object, in order to create an object, you have to first create a blueprint for an object. Yeah, you have to first create a blueprint for this object. Let me say you want to create a phone. You first design a template for a phone before you create a actual thing or before you design the actual phone. So simply a class is a blueprint or template for creating an object. Now the object is the actual thing or is the actual instance created or being created after being created from a class. So meaning an object is simply a specific instance of a class. Yeah, it is something real that is created based on the blueprint being a class. So let's dive in more and we see uh, on the practical side of this. Uh, so as I explained earlier, a class simply is just a blueprint for creating an object. In this case, this is an example of a house. A blueprint is simply just like a plan. A plan, let me say you are building a house. You first draft out your plan on the paper. You say my windows are going to be on the upper side, my doors are going to be on the left, my backyard, something like that. You first draft out a blueprint for your house. Before creating the actual thing, you first draft out your plan for the house, meaning this will become our class. Now, after you drafting out your plan, you will create the actual house. In this case, being an object. So the actual house built using that blueprint, meaning after drafting out your plan, you will come out with the actual house. In this case, in the programming world, the blueprint is the class and the object is the actual thing being built from the blueprint. Hopefully I'm clear. Yeah. So if you want to build in Java, if you want to build something, you first create its blueprint. Yeah, you first create its class. Meaning, if you want to create something like a phone, you first create its blueprint. You first create its plan. Then inside the class, you create the actual phone or you draft out the actual thing. Meaning, you cannot create an object besides a class. You first print out the blueprint, then you create the actual thing. So I have a question for you. After understanding all of that, in this case, which of these two is a class and which of these two is an object? Yeah, you can draft out some answers in the comment section so that I know that you have really understood this. Yeah, this and this. Which of this is a class and this? Which of this is a blueprint? Which of this is a class and which of this is an object? Simply to answer that, this is our blueprint and this is our object. Our blueprint simply is the template for creating our object, meaning our class in this case is this side and our object is the actual car. Hopefully I'm clear. The car is not the blueprint, or the car is not the template. The car is the object drifted out after drafting a template or a blueprint. Simply, a class is like a blueprint for creating objects. An object is a specific instance of a class. Hopefully I'm clear there. So let's dive in Java and we see how we can do this in the actual programming world. So I'll first create here two numbers. I'll say int. Let me say I want to add two numbers. I want to add two numbers. I'll create int num1 is equal to, let me say 10. Int num num2 is equal to 20. So these are my two numbers. You can do something like this. You can come int, I want to save the result in the result variable. Int is equal to num1 plus num2. Then output this console this and we see it in the actual set Java to compile and run. This will work. This will work as intended. But what if you want to make your code reusable? You want to make your code more understandable? You won't use something like this. Here we introduce something new called classes and objects. When to use classes and when to use objects. Now here up, how do you create a class? I'll come here up. I say class. I call the name class. In the class, I give it the name. In this case, I'm calling it cal, meaning calculator. I can complete it calculator. Hopefully that's the spelling. Then I open our curly brackets, meaning here I have created. I can first fix this calculator. Yeah, meaning here this is now my blueprint that I've created. So anything that I put here inside automatically is going to be an object. Hopefully I'm clear. Anything that I put here is not going to be an object, sorry, it's going to be an instance for this class that I have created. So inside here, and something to note is that if you want to create anything in Java, you first create a class, then you create your new things that you want. Meaning I can create anything here. After creating a class, you first create a blueprint, then you create anything that you want. I can create variables, I can create methods, I can create objects, I can create anything inside here. But if you want to create, I repeat again, if you want to create anything, you first create a class. So inside here, I can create anything. I can put my variables. I can say like number is equal to 18. You see, I can create anything. I can create my methods. I can create anything inside here. So that's simply how you can create a class. So the next thing is that I will create an object. So before creating an object, I want to introduce something more interesting in this stage. I want to introduce something called a method. In other programming language, a method is simply a function. So what is a method? A method is a block of code that performs a specific task. Let me say I want to add. two numbers like I've done here. I'll just create a method that adds two numbers. Let me say I want to subtract, or I want to multiply, I want to do anything. I'll create a method. I'll create a method that does a specific task. Why do we create methods? When you create a method, your code becomes more reusable. Meaning, if I want to calculate like two numbers, I just call my method, I give it the two numbers, I say I want to calculate. It will do automatic calculations, or it will do my addition, subtraction, name it. Meaning, in this case, let me create a method. Being that I have already created a class, I can create also a method here. I will say, to create a method, you first give a method name, then you open these two brackets, then you open like this. So here you have created your method, but you can see that my method is saying you are missing some keywords. Which keywords am I missing? We are missing two keywords. We are missing the type. Remember, Java is a typed language, meaning everything has to be defined by types, and we are missing the availability of this method. Meaning, if I want to use this method, I have to make it like public. Remember here, it is inside a class, and the class is outside our public. And remember, everything running has to run inside the public class or our main class. Meaning, if this is outside, we won't be able to access it here inside. Here, I'll use a keyword called what? Public. Now, the next thing that I will define the type. Now here, this is crucial. The type is what the method is going to return. Let me say I'm adding two numbers, and the two numbers are in both integers. So the result will be an integer, not so. Meaning here I have to define what the method is returning. Here I will say like I return an integer, something like this. You will see it is saying type return type for the method is missing, meaning here I'm missing the return. After defining the integer, my type for the method, I have to use the return keyword. In this case, what am I returning? I'm returning an integer, meaning here I can put something like 0, then I close. You will see that I have successfully created my method. So simply, this is how you create a method. Hopefully I'm clear. You can use another keyword called, let me say you have to, you want to return, you don't want to return anything in this method. You simply want to return, you simply want to run your method without returning anything. You use a keyword called void. Meaning here, I can remove this, I can put anything here without the return keyword, and it will work as intended. Okay. The addition method is working. You see that it is not bringing out any errors. Hopefully I'm clear here. Yeah. So when you use the void keyword, your method won't return anything. But when you use other data types, name it Boolean, integers, strings, other data types, a return keyword is needed. So here I'll take it back, return 0, which is an integer. Here, in this case, this is an integer. So after defining my class app, now I want to use my class or my add method in my, I want to use my add method inside my main class. So what will I do? Now here, I'll first comment out this. To comment something means like you want to freeze something. When you freeze something, it won't be executed. Yeah, to comment, you press Ctrl then slash, Ctrl slash on your PC. You have to make sure that you are on the line where you want to comment. It will be commented out, or it will be freezed out. It won't be executed anywhere. So in this case, I want to use my method. But remember, my method is inside a class. I can do something like this. Add, I can call my add method in this case. How do you see? Let me compile and we see. I can do something like that. let me see what is happening. Can first put this aside, then I can put this aside and we see, oh, we have some errors. Cannot find symbol add. In this class, our public class, they are saying we cannot find a symbol called add, meaning add is not being seen anywhere. What is happening? Yet I defined my public my class as public, making it available on my application. Someone can ask that. Now the reason is that the class, remember the class is inside, the method is inside a class. Remember, meaning I have to first define a class, then I call the method inside. Remember the what I explained earlier. A class is simply a blueprint for creating a method, or a class is simply a blueprint for creating objects. Meaning, after drafting out your, let me say, your plan for a house, uh, then later you build your actual house. Uh, they are asking you. We are seeing that you are calling the actual house, but where is your plan? Meaning I have to define where I got my what? My house. In this case, I'll do something like this. Someone can say I can do something like this. Being that I already know where my class is, I can do something like this. Calculator dot add. You can see calculator dot add, meaning he has gone in the calculator and he wants to access the add method. Let us compile and we see. And the other thing, I can add something here in my method to see that the add method is running. Add method is running like this. Let me compile this. Meaning, if I successfully manage to run this class, this output will run and my zero will also run because I'm running this and I'm also returning a zero. Let me run and compile, and we see, oh, we have some errors. Error: non-static method add cannot be referenced from a static context. Calc.add, meaning in this case what they are saying, we are going to look at static and non-static methods in the coming videos, but for now let us keep it easy. Here what they are saying is that we cannot access a non-static method to a static method, meaning this cannot work in any way. What can I do? Here in this case, the solution is you have to define where your method is. I repeat again, you have to define where your method is, meaning you have to create a new instance of your object. All these, as I explained earlier, are all instances of this class, meaning I have to create a new instance in this public method, in this public static main method. I have to define a new instance of this class, meaning each and every time that you create a class, you have to define a new instance where you are calling it or where you want to use it. So the moment I define my new instance, I can be able to access the values inside. So how can you create an instance? For creating an instance, you use a keyword called new. You're going to see it in a minute. So what I will do is that I'll call my calc, and the good thing is when naming your classes should start with a capital letter, not small letter. Yeah, naming conventions are very crucial. Here I started with a small letter. That's not right. You should start with a capital letter. Meaning in this case, I'll say I'll first remove. Okay, I can leave it. I'll say calc. So what is the calc? Calc is the data type. The next thing is that I'll give it a variable. I'll name it like calc is equal to new, the new word that I explained earlier. If you want to create a new instance, use a keyword called new, and automatically you can see that they are bringing me suggestions of my classes that I'm having. Hopefully I'm clear. So the instance that I'm creating is the calculator, calculator, then close that, then you have to end this statement. So let me explain this in a minute. So what does this mean? This calculator, the first calculator you're seeing, is simply a data type. You see here up, I define my data type, I gave it a variable, then I assign something to my variable. In this case, I'm creating a variable called calculator. Where am I getting this calculator? I'm getting the calculator from the class itself. I'm giving it a variable called cal, and this line here, the next line, is simply the new instance that I'm creating using the new keyword, meaning I'm saving this instance to the cal variable, meaning I can use this cal variable to access my add. Hopefully I'm clear. Now here, instead of using calculator, I can use this new instance that I created. You see that everything is working as intended. So let me compile this and you see. You see that I have used my calc to access my add. Remember uh, my add is inside my instance, my calculator class here, my method. So to access my add, I have created a new instance from the calculator class, then saved it into a variable called cal, then I have successfully managed to get the add method, meaning here this I expect this to work as intended. Compile, then run. You will see that we have successfully, the add method is running. In this case, you can see that our method is successfully running after creating a new object. Now, in the programming world, this is called a new object. We have successfully created a new object. A new object is the actual thing. Remember, after creating a class, inside everything here becomes an object, meaning the actual thing that I have created out of this class, out of this blueprint, is the object in this case, meaning this is my object for now. And to access values in my object, I use the dot notation, meaning if I want to access the number, I use like cal dot number. If I want to access my method, I'll use cal dot. Dot is like moving inside and accessing the value that you want. Cal dot add. This is the add method. And after running very well, you can see that I'm successfully running the add method inside my main method in this case. So what if I want to also see the return, meaning I can save this into a variable, the const so int result is equal to, I can save this into a result, then I can move this, then let me compile this and you see. After saving my method into the result, I want to access the return keyword. Compile, then run. You see that I have successfully printed out the 0 and the method. So that's how you can create a new object, and that's how you can create a new class. So the next thing that I will do is I want to make this add method work at least. Yeah, we can't live without making the add method work. So what will I do? Remember, we are adding two numbers. In this case, it is something like this, int, or say int result is equal to num1 plus num. Not so. We are adding two numbers. We are adding num1 plus num2. And we are also returning the result. After adding, we have saved our addition or our result into the result variable, and we are returning it. But let me compare, and this is something interesting. But they are saying cannot find symbol result num1 plus num2. These symbols cannot be found anywhere. Here you see that the errors that we are getting cannot find symbol num1 and num2, meaning the num1 and num2 are not defined. Someone can ask, yet I define them in these other in the other method or in our main method? Why are they not in our add? Simply because you are saying you are calling this add, and you are, let me say you want to uh, you want to you want to buy a phone, and the phone you are buying, and someone is saying, I have a phone, the phone works really well, you give me some money, and you purchase the phone, uh, and the man telling you to the man is saying give me some money, yet he's not having the actual phone. You are not seeing the actual phone. So in this case, the add method is saying that you are telling me to add a num1 and num2, but where is num1 and num2? They are not defined into my class. So what will I do? So in this case, what I will do is that I'll pass num1 as arguments. So if you pass something in methods inside here, they are called arguments. So in this case, I'll pass num1 and num2. In this case, and num2 in my add method, meaning I have successfully given this add method the num1 and num2 that it needs. But here I have to receive them. After giving them, I have to receive them. But remember, these are of type integers. Remember, integers, comma, int num2. You see that we have successfully passed our arguments, and we have successfully received our arguments. In this case, num1 is 10, num2 is 20, and we have passed num1 here in our method, and we have successfully passed num2 in our method. And after passing them, we have received them in the actual method. Hopefully, I'm clear here. Now, let me just run this, and we see the output. You see that we have successfully added the two numbers 30. The result here is returning is successfully returning my addition. Hopefully I'm clear. Meaning here, even if I change this to 90 or to this, I change this to other numbers, this will work as intended, because I'm calling the add method, and I'm providing it with the numbers that it needs to add. Hopefully I'm clear here. When you run and compile, you will see that my result is being returned as intended. A method is a block of code that performs a specific task. In this case, my method is adding two numbers, and the addition of two numbers are the num1 and num2, which is receiving down here. After creating from the instance, the object that we created, we have managed to access this method, and we have given it the values that it needs to add. Simply, that's how you can use your method, and that's how you can create your new instances and objects, and that's how you can create your methods. So thank you for today.